Hello and welcome to Movie Trailer Trash. We just watched the trailer for Snowden.
You don't have to choose a side, but you will.
Wow, making it sound real creepy. That's right, baby. It's time for Movie Trailer Trash. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody. This is Movie Trailer Trash. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Bethany.
And we just watched the trailer for Snowden. A movie that is based on a book that's based on true life events about one Edward Snowden. And in case you don't know who Edward Snowden is because you're, living under a rock for however long, or you just aggressively try to avoid news, Bethany is going to read you a little summary of the man.
Okay. First of all, don't feel bad if you don't know much about Snowden. I'm sure you've heard the name. But I think a lot of us, it just kind of went in one ear, out the other. Because whatever. Okay. Edward Joseph Snowden, also known as Ed.
That's probably not necessary information.
Was an American computer professional, former CIA employee, and contractor for the United States government who copied and leaked classified information from the National Security Agency, also known as NSA. So that's what he's known for.
Edward Snowden is the reason that we know that the government is watching everything that we do via the internet.
Including us right now, most likely.
Be careful what you say.
Also, so there's a lot of controversy about Snowden. He has been called a hero, a whistleblower, and a patriot and a traitor and all sorts of things. So,
Ed.
Also, Ed, hey, I'm just telling you what Wikipedia told me, and I am citing Wikipedia.
All right. Well, first of all, about this movie. So there you go. That's what it's about.
I mean, that's what it's about.
It's
about the man.
About and everything. But first of all, about this movie, it's directed by Oliver Stone, who's a very famous director who famously directed Platoon, Wall Street, The Doors, Natural Born Killers, Any Given Sunday, and those are the really famous ones. That's only like half of the movies he's ever done.
Can I tell you something? I don't think I've seen a single one of those movies except for Wall Street. What's that? Have I seen that?
That's one with Michael Douglas.
Don't know who that is, so I'm guessing no. I haven't seen it. So I'm just saying, I mean,
they're very famous. It doesn't
what you will about
not,
me.
They're first of all, they're not the genre that you prefer.
I see.
Second of all, none of them Any Given Sunday and probably Natural Born Killers were made during the time where you would be able to.
I was a kid probably at that point.
Yeah, you were either a kid or
before my time. Yeah. But I mean, that's fine. I thought it was interesting that I've not seen any of those.
And so this is going to be probably award caliber directing, if anything.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And so he also wrote this, and with the help of a girl named, or maybe, I don't know, is Kieran a girl's name?
Yes.
Okay. Kieran Fitzgerald, whose only real writing credit was writing a movie called The Homesman, which is kind of like a Western movie with Tommy Lee Jones and Hilary Swank. And on Rotten Tomatoes, critics gave it 81%, but audience only gave it 51%. And so it was probably very artsy and very slow, is my guess.
Interesting. Okay, so that's kind of cool that we know now that the director's this well-known person, this well-known entity.
Yes, that's
so
probably the main reason why people are excited about this movie.
Now let's talk about starring. It is starring Joseph Gordon Levitt, and he is playing Snowden.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, just based on that, and based on this trailer we saw, his voice is very different, right? Like he does a voice.
He's doing an impression of Edward Snowden because there's been so many interviews with him.
Yeah,
and so he's easy, and I thought it was good. The first time I heard it, I thought it was hilarious and it sounded like a Muppet voice. But then, I think that I'll get used to it during the course of the movie.
I feel like I got used to it right away. I mean, it sounded weird because it was coming out of his face.
Right,
but
he's very recognized.
It sounded very much. I mean, I don't remember hearing. I don't know if I've ever actually seen any clips of an actual Snowden, so I don't know if I know his voice. But it sounded very much like a very regular, boring computer science guy. No offense, computer science guys out there who are listening. Shout out to you.
Also, gotta love the fact that Nick Cage is in it.
Oh yeah, that came out of the blue for me. I've actually seen several like. teaser trailers, and I did not know he was going to be in it.
I have a feeling that he is in it for that amount of time. I bet he says that one line, and then you don't see him again.
Probably. Okay, so he's in it. Who is the guy who plays Sylar from Heroes is in it. I don't know what else that guy's in.
Again,
Oh, he also
probably-
plays Spock in the new Star Trek movies.
Probably not in it a whole ton.
Well, he looked like a decently important part. So
what's that girl's name? Shailene Woodley. Is that her
yeah,
name? Shailene.
yeah, that is her. She's the girl
She's
from
the girlfriend.
Well, yeah, and she's the girl from the
Divergent.
Thank you. I could not think of the name of that series. She also was in The Spectacular Now, and I hear she's a good actress. I liked her in The Spectacular Now.
Is she in The Fault in Our Stars? Is that her?
Yes, it is.
Well, there you go.
Way to go. I have not seen that movie,
Nailed
but it
it.
is her.
Totally nailed
Way
it.
to go, Charlie. But yeah, so she plays, I think, Snowden's girlfriend, it looks to be. And but no, the guy who plays Sylar, that guy, it looks like he's a part of a group of people who must have helped him get the information out.
Yeah, but bottom
help
line,
him leak it.
just in the trailer alone, a lot of very recognizable people, even a few that we didn't mention.
Yeah.
And
probably a lot of them have really small parts because it does kind of look like that. Like this is all about him. It looks like, and he works for this huge, massive government agency, and so there's going to be a lot of people, and so I think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and he's going to go through all the different people and stuff and everything. Now, getting to the actual movie,
Yes.
and how everything looks, it looks good, obviously,
Yes.
but I think that it looks really good just because of how interesting the actual story is and the fact that you know that it's real and you want to see all of this stuff.
I think that any movie that is based on a true story that is interesting enough to actually be made into a movie, I think that you always have that going for you. I mean, a lot of award-winning movies are based on real stories, and I think it's because it's like you said,
but they
that
also have books written about them.
Well, yes, but it's like you said, it's just exciting to know that it's real.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there is something wonderful about watching a piece of fiction because it's kind of like exciting to go into a world that's not real. But then there's something just really, I think, connects with people when they're like, this is real stuff that not only happened, but like this one happened in my time.
Well, and I think that's something that people from our generation don't realize is that what Edward Snowden did is one of like the biggest historical events to happen during our lifetime.
Well, yeah, okay,
period.
like you were saying, if you were living under a rock or just really trying to avoid news, that's the only way you wouldn't know about him, which is true, except that like for me, I had to look him up a little bit because I'm like, oh yeah, he like leaked a bunch of info, right? Like that's my opinion on it. It's like, oh yeah, didn't he leak a bunch of stuff? It just didn't really bother me. I don't remember thinking it was a big deal, and I know that some of my friends my age did. But to me, I was just kind of like, so he let people know that we're being watched. Like, big deal. Like, I assumed that the CIA could see me.
Big deal. NSA breaking the law all the time.
No. I'm not saying that it's not a big deal that they were doing it. I'm just saying that I kind of assume that's why you have secret organizations.
Well, yeah. I mean, most
think about any
people
spy movie you've ever seen. The whole idea of all the spy movies I've ever seen, all of them, it's always about you basically do what's illegal for the government to do, and you do it for the government quietly. Like that's what I mean. Think about like James Bond and any spy movie. It's always like what you do is a little bit not legal, but you're so good at it that no one will ever know. You know?
I don't agree with your methods, son.
Sure. What's that from? Just everything. Yeah.
Everything.
But yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying.
Plays
like,
by his own set of rules.
Now, I realize that a lot of those spy movies are fiction, but I mean, think about it. What do you think that the Central Intelligence Agency is doing? Just like having people walk around and say, hey, could I take your information? Like, no, they're getting information. They're finding our information.
Yeah.
The NSA, National Security Agency?
Aftermath.
Okay, whatever. NSA, what do you think they're doing? They're trying to quote unquote keep us safe, and it's just like a parent who thinks that in order to keep you safe they have to know everything you're doing at all times.
Yeah, it's like those parents that track their kids on their cell phones even when
and
they're
that's
like
very common.
17 years old.
Yeah,
that's insanity to me.
But think about it though, like
also that would drive me insane.
It is exactly like that though. Yeah, but think about that. It's exactly like that. It's like the only way I can make sure my kid is safe is if I know what they're doing at all times, which technically is kind of true, but also is a total invasion of your kid's privacy and unnecessary, and it doesn't help them to grow or learn anything on their own. Now.
So, okay.
So let's go
back to the movie.
Okay, I was going to say that's my my opinion based on very little information.
Instead of how the NSA is watching
I think that the
you.
movie is based on the NSA watching us, and the movie, it's okay to talk about these things. I think that's what the whole point of this movie is to get people talking.
So Joseph Gordon Levitt looks like he's going to do a great job.
Absolutely.
He looks like Joseph Gordon Levitt.
Yeah,
which is
what could you do? He looks nothing like the guy.
I mean, no, he looks like the guy also, but the guy.
No.
I mean, he's so recognizable because he's kind of like a personality in and of himself. You know what I mean? Like he has his own thing.
His face is very round.
Like people don't know him for his roles; they know him for being Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's true, and I think his face is too round. That's my critique.
You are very noticing of head shapes.
His face is so round compared to the actual guy.
It doesn't matter. He's a pale white guy. That's all that you need.
Also, the actual guy has light brown hair. And
oh my God.
Hey, Joseph Gordon-Levitt has dark hair. I'm just saying he doesn't look like the guy. Don't say he looks like the guy.
He looks more like the guy than most people.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. So the movie does look good, I think. But I was going to say that I initially saw like a 20-second little trailer on Facebook a while back. And I was like, oh, I don't really care about this movie, but I'll watch it because this is what I do. I watch trailers. So I clicked on it, and it had this kind of the voiceover of the guy saying, you know, why do you want to join the, you know, NSA or CIA, whatever. And CIA, you know, and he's asking him questions. And so it has the voiceover going and all these different shots from the movie. And then it says like in big white letters on black background, you don't have to choose a side. And then it, you know, with awesome timing comes up, but you will.
Bum, bum, bum.
Which is why I started with this, because that literally, like, when I read that, I was like, okay, now I want to see it. Now I want to see it because I don't know a lot about it. I haven't really chosen a side. I'm not really like, you know, I mean, it's a complicated issue because like, I'm not all for people just going into our government agencies and giving away all our secrets. Like, I'm not all for that. But at the same time, it makes it look, especially in the trailer, like it wasn't like he went in there with that type of intention at all. He was like, the government is doing something really bad and I have to say something. So it's not like I think
that's what they're trying to show.
I mean, that's what they're trying to make it look
like. For the first like half, or probably not half, but for the first little bit of the movie, they're showing you that he wanted to be in the army so bad that he was running on broken legs. They were showing you that he, you know, just wanted to help the country in some way possible. Now, I'm sure
they said there's other ways to serve your country, son.
I'm sure that that's probably slightly fabricated, you know, to the extent that they present it, at least in this trailer. But
Perhaps.
That's what they're trying to show you is that
they're also showing you that he's a genius. They're like, there's this big test you have to take, and nobody's ever finished it in less than 5 hours. And then he comes up there and he's like, I'm done. He's like, it's been 40 minutes. And he's like, actually 39, sir. You know, so the whole idea is that he's also super, super smart, which I would imagine most people who are in the CIA are hopefully really, really smart.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, but obviously it sounds like he was exceptionally smart,
right.
Which I think there's something to be said for people who are exceptionally smart, who are willing to go against the grain, because we as people, just in general, we're really, really conditioned to just do what people are doing around us. You know, I just saw a video the other day about that. It was like showing how you can trick someone to do something just because everyone else is. So I think that it's the exceptionally smart people who are more capable of breaking out of that pattern. So like people are just like, oh yeah, you can see everything. Like one of the guys was showing him, he's like, wait, so how are we seeing? He's like, just everything, anyone, all the phones. And the guy's just kind of like, oh, this is what we do. And people just tell you this is what you do. And so you do it because you're like, well, I guess that's what they do here. But somebody who is exceptionally smart, I could see being more capable of saying, I have to break the mold.
Well, you know what's cool is that they've done this in movies before.
Yeah.
Right? So, like in that Shia LaBeouf movie, and in...
Which one? That is
Eagle
not...
Eye? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, you got to say a movie because
I mean,
he's
not
in
necessarily
multiple movies.
this exact thing, but like a thing where someone or some entity can see you through any camera that exists.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing in Enemy of State, I believe. The Will Smith
Dark
movie.
Knight.
Well, yeah, briefly.
No, I mean, that's what he does. He uses all the cell phones, and remember, it pisses off Morgan Freeman. He helps him out, but he's like, this is the last thing I'm doing for you.
Yeah, but then he destroys it after.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that's another example.
Right.
He literally is like looking from people's phones, and you got to see what it looked like, and it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Batman, I mean, he just wants justice. See, and that's the thing. That's the thing people think. Like, well, yeah, but if it's Batman and he's doing it for the right reasons, that's how people think about the government too.
But what I was going to say is that it's going to be kind of cool to see it play out realistically instead of, like someone like sneaking around a room and trying to stay away from cameras. Instead of doing that, they're just going to go about their daily business and then, really subtly sneak the Rubik's Cube scene.
Oh man.
Like
that looked cool.
In the scene, he puts everything on a little SD card that he puts inside of a Rubik's Cube, which I assume that he plays with all the time, and so it doesn't raise suspicion.
It doesn't seem weird, yeah.
And so he puts it into a Rubik's Cube, and he has to walk through like a little metal detector in and out of work.
Well, not even that.
Day.
It looked exactly like the TSA detectors, where they actually do a full body scan. So it probably could have picked it up.
Right.
It wasn't just metal. So anyway, yeah. Go on.
And he tosses it to the security guard because they're buddies. Probably he probably sees him all the time, and he just he looks at it for a little bit and puts it in the box and whatever. And it's probably a really stressful, suspenseful moment in the movie that kind of made me want to see the movie. Like everything else, awesome. Everything else you could tell it was good. But it was still kind of like, okay, yeah, I know all of this. Joseph Gordon Levitt looks good and stuff. And then that moment made me be like, ooh.
I thought a moment that made me really nervous is when, and I don't think it happens exactly like this because you know how trailers are cut together. Sometimes you'll have a voiceover of something that's happening somewhere else with a different image. But they almost made it look like, like he was having sex with his girlfriend. And then she was like, wait, can they see us? And then it showed him looking around the room, like motioning to her to be quiet and looking at the camera on his computer. Uh-huh. And that was really interesting to me because it was like, how could you go about your day every day, going in and spying on people and then going home and knowing I'm not free here. If they want to, they can see me. That's it's one thing for us. We all kind of are like, yeah, I figured people were doing that. But it's another thing when you know it, when you're there and you see it. That would be nerve-wracking.
It's something that after Edward Snowden is in the back of your mind all the time now.
Well, yeah, and even before.
Like when you get out of the shower or something and you walk into your room and your computer's up, you're just you think to yourself, it's possible someone could be watching me get out of the shower right now. And people didn't used to think that before. They used to think that, the government could find them wherever they are, whenever they wanted, but they didn't think about that exact thing until then.
Yeah. And so, okay, I'm looking at this happened in 2013, the actual thing, which by the way, not that long ago. So it's kind of crazy.
Wait, 2013?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not that long ago?
No, listen, this is what I was going to say. It's crazy because I remember when The Social Network came out, I was like, come on, guys. This isn't even history yet. Why are we writing a movie about it? And now it's just commonplace for us to make movies about things that just happened.
Yeah.
So anyway, so 2013, not that long ago, but even before that, I had friends, at least one that I can think of, who put black tape over the camera on their Mac computer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, you are so paranoid. And I still am. My phone has a camera, your phone has a camera, all of our computers have cameras, my tablet, I'm not covering those up. And I'm hoping that no one's seeing me, but whatever. There's nothing I can do about it. But also I know I'm not doing anything wrong, but that doesn't make it okay that people are spying on me if they are.
Right. Exactly.
So, it is it's so interesting and complicated and, it's kind of well, what is acceptable? If someone's on a terrorist watch list, can we watch them? There's a lot of different things. It's complicated is all I'm saying.
Well, on that note, let's move on to where, when, and how you're going to see this movie. Where? When? How? Are you going to see this movie?
Okay, so, I don't know. I'm really interested in it. And I think that the trailer really drew me in because otherwise I probably wouldn't have cared. So I would be interested in seeing it in theater, but only probably second weekend or third weekend, not first weekend. I'm not that excited about it. And I could see myself not seeing it in theater. I could see myself seeing it when it comes out to rent. because it is one of those movies that's probably going to be like award quality. And a lot of the award quality movies, the movies that are like, are nominated for Best Picture, those are the ones that I usually don't see until they come out for rent.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I think it's because I would rather see things on the big screen with, crazy big explosions or like amazing space scenes where you really need the big screen. You're not going to need the big screen for this. There's no reason for that.
So I think that this movie is going to be very good, very well made, and a really good story, and all of that. But I don't think I'm going to see it until it's on Netflix.
Oh, no. I think that I will see it before it's on Netflix because I don't think it will come out on Netflix for years.
Really? Why?
Because not every movie that is in theaters comes out on Netflix.
The Big Short came out on Netflix really
Yeah, and when did that movie actually come out?
I mean, well, but that's kind of the thing that I'm talking about, or a similar situation that I'm talking about to The Big Short, because I mean, even though they're very different movies and everything, I think that that going to see Snowden would just kind of like depress me and just like really bum me out.
Yeah.
Kind of how The Big Short did.
Yeah.
Like after I was done watching The Big Short, I was just like in a bad mood for like a week.
Okay, so this says that The Big Short came out in 2015. So it's 2016, but it just got on. So it was probably over a year before they put it on.
Yeah.
I could see myself watching it as soon as it comes. I think I would want to rent it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I want to wait because here's the thing: you don't know that it's going to come out on Netflix. Yeah, The Big Short came out, but Spotlight isn't on Netflix yet, is it?
Yeah.
What the heck? Okay, Bridge of Spies isn't.
No.
So I'm just saying, Room isn't. So there's a lot of great movies that came out last year that still aren't on Netflix, and I don't know if they will be. I mean, Netflix doesn't have the exclusive right to every movie that comes out in theaters.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I don't think that's right.
And, other companies will be making deals with things too, and I know Hulu's trying to weasel its way into the network. I mean, they are, though. They're going to start making deals with people, and they're also going to start making people pay exclusively pay for it.
I think that's already happened. Right?
I don't know because I gave up on them the second that they started hiding some of my content and making me pay for it.
What?
I used to watch Hulu, since you asked. I used to watch Hulu like every single day.
Uh-huh.
As soon as I learned what Hulu was, I was like, this is amazing. I watched movies on it. I knew about Hulu before I even knew about Netflix. I watched movies on it. I would watch all my TV shows on it because then I could watch them at my leisure. And not during the time that they were on TV. And then all of a sudden one day, like years into it, I'm in the middle of looking for Modern Family, and it's like, you can't watch this episode unless you have Hulu Prime. Plus. Oh, no. Or, no, I thought it was Prime.
It's Amazon.
Dang it. The point is, I was like, oh, no, you didn't. What? Huh? And you're still going to show me commercials? I mean, no, it's outrageous to me. They still show commercials. I'm pretty sure. Well, okay. Honestly, I can't speak to Plus because there's no way in heck I would ever pay for that. I don't like paying for a service that I used to get for free. I feel very strongly about that. Yeah. So, I mean, Netflix, they never offer me anything for free. I knew what I was getting into when I got into it. And they always gave me excellent quality content with no ads.
This is not an ad for Netflix, by the way.
No, I am just saying that how dare you, Hulu? How dare you say I would have to watch 3 ads, right? Every TV show. And then they started having like 10 ads in an hour-long TV show or whatever. And I was like, so like they were slowly going downhill, and then they were just like, we can't afford this. And now, I mean, I get it. You got to make money, but what's going on? You have advertisers and you want me to pay? Like, come on, figure it out, guys. Anyway, they're trying to do their thing. There's no guarantee that you can just watch things on Netflix. That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, I think that, or a streaming service of some kind, because I pay for multiples.
That's fine. But yes. Okay. Yes. But first of all, we don't know if we'll have Amazon Prime next year. Second of all, other than Amazon Prime and Netflix, we're not paying monthly for things. So if you're going to watch it on a streaming service, you'll still probably pay for it to rent it.
We do get access to HBO though.
That's true.
That's nice. I bet that one will be on HBO.
This one?
It feels like a HBO movie.
Well, anyway, the point is, would you rent it via Vudu or Apple or something?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you're against paying for it.
I don't think I would really choose to seek it out, even though I know that it's really good. Very much like Spotlight.
That's fine.
Spotlight, I'm sure
You're
is
missing
a great
out.
movie. Yeah, you've seen it.
I would watch it again, and it's a movie. And listen to this. For those of you who don't know what Spotlight is, it is a movie about the team of journalists who exposed the Catholic Church for hiding the fact that priests were molesting children. Okay, that's what the movie is about. A terrible, awful subject, and I would watch it again. That's how good the movie was.
I can't get excited to go and like get ready to watch a movie like that. I'm always
obviously
gonna be like, all right, here we go.
Here's the thing, though. I get it, but it's amazing to see people stand up for what's right, even in the face of adversity, which is what happened in Spotlight, which is what I'm guessing is happening with Snowden.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do get excited to see it because, I mean, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that there are people who spend their days trying to make the world a better place. While
Bethany's getting emotional over
no,
here.
I'm just thinking about it, like while we sit here and we talk about trailers. So, I mean, it's funny, but it's also sad.
We also have other jobs.
Yeah,
though.
we
you
do.
work for a charity.
Well,
much.
no, I work for an advertiser.
Well, yeah. Who works for a charity?
We get charities to pay. It doesn't matter. We work for charity, kind of.
Okay.
But we're a for-profit organization.
Well,
we're an advertiser.
Let's move on to the Rotten Tomatoes percentages.
Okay.
Maybe you can grab a tissue or something.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I just think it's cool that there are people who literally like risk their own safety or their own whatever to make the world a better place. I think that that's worth watching. And sorry, I know you wanted to move on to Rotten Tomatoes, but I want to go back to how I will watch this. I don't want to wait till Netflix. I think that as soon as it's in Redbox, I will be Redboxing that. So, Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes percentages. I'm going to say that this movie is going to have critical acclaim.
Okay.
And I think that it's going to get a 91% from critics and a 80% from audience.
Wow.
No.
Yes. Oh, you can't go back on your
80%,
word. No.
80%.
I was going to say 89% by critics. So we're kind of in a similar area. They're high 80s, low 90s. My reason for that is just because I feel that critics have been a little bit... It used to be that it would be like based on a true story and it had a good director, and therefore it just was like 98%. Like it used to be a lot
all the
more.
movies coming out recently have been so mediocre that I think that they're going to be excited to see one that people tried on.
That people what on?
Tried.
Oh yeah. Well yeah, and I think that it used to be that they were like every time there was a movie based on a real story, they were just like, give it in the 90s. It's amazing. Yeah. In fairness, when you have a movie that is based on reality, I feel like most people give it higher than they would if it was based on fiction, because they're just like, how cool that happened. So, however, I think that critics recently have been a little harsher on them, and that's fine. I mean, I still think it'll get high by critics. I think that the audience will like it, but I could see why you would say they'd give it lower, just because I think it's going to be like The Big Short, where it's confusing. Like The Big Short's a good movie, and they do their very best to dumb it down. Like literally, they're like, look at this hot woman, look at this, funny person or whatever. They just show you these stupid people and say like, we'll have them explain it to you in like layman's terms. Mm-hmm. And even still afterwards, I know that you and I were both like, wait, hang on, guys. So what happened? And we were talking to my siblings who are very smart. Like, okay, explain to me what we just watched, because it seems terrible and sad, but I'm still not sure I know exactly what was happening. Right? So I feel like with this, it'll be easier to understand, hopefully and probably, than The Big Short. But I still could see it being confusing. And a lot of people just don't like being confused. So they might be a little harsher on it. I'll give it an 85 by the audience, because I think people love Joseph Gordon Levitt. There are people who will just go see it just because he's in it.
I think there's as many people that hate him, though.
Really? I've not heard of a lot of Joseph Gordon Levitt hate.
Don't you hate Joseph Gordon Levitt?
I don't prefer his style of...
Oh, my God. You've told me in the past that you hate him. And it was
when
I was watching that Hit
What
Record
are you
show.
About? Okay. You're right. Okay. I think he's a great actor. Most of the movies I've seen him in, I have loved. I don't like him that much as a guy. I feel like if I were to know him, I would constantly be rolling my eyes at him, and I would constantly be like, you are so annoying, because he is very theatrical.
No, yeah,
He's
I love
super
that.
theatrical.
That in the SNL skit for the Star Wars Force Awakens auditions, where he's like the guy is doing an impression of Joseph Gordon Levitt auditioning for Star Wars, and he was just like, "The fate of the universe depends on us all."
Yeah.
He was like doing that, like just like super theatrical.
Well, yeah, and he loves musical theater, and he loves all that. And sometimes it's hilarious.
Well,
like,
and you know him very well.
Oh, shut up! I'm basing it on all of the things I've seen. He's not like shy about it.
No.
He's constantly trying to find reasons to do a show dance. I mean, it's ridiculous. But no, like in 500 Days of Summer, a movie he was in, there's just this random scene where he sings and dances through the day and does this whole like kind of musical theater type arrangement. And it has like, it's hilarious because it comes in the middle of a movie that isn't that style, and it's really funny. So like, I don't mind it when he's doing that. It's just that like I said, I think I would be annoyed with him as a person because I think that he's one of those people that's always on. He also thinks of everything super artistically. Like,
well, you definitely love him as an actor
show.
because that's one of your favorite movies, right? 500 Days of Summer.
Well, I just sold it to vintage stock, so it's not one of my favorites, but I did like it.
Okay, it's one of
really
your favorite rom-coms of all time.
Yeah, really good.
And I liked Looper a lot. I thought
Looper
he
was
great in
amazing.
Looper. And
what else
he's
was he
also going to be in this movie, which probably will win awards. I am
Yeah,
guessing.
but what else was he in? That was really good.
Third Rock from the Sun.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, the thing is, yeah, I like him as an actor. But you're right. What is that, Hit Record? I remember hearing him talk about Hit Record way before it came out. Like, I have this concept and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he is kind of annoyingly artistic. And then I saw Hit Record, and honestly, I couldn't get into it. I'm like, it's like he's one of those people that everything in the world to him is an incredible piece of art. Like, everything that happens is like, whoa, can you believe that just happened? And it's like, what? I opened a bag of potato chips, calm your butt. Okay, but anyway, no, I didn't know that people didn't like him. Like, I could see myself getting annoyed by him, but also, I mean, when he dances with Zooey Deschanel in her music video, I'm like, heck yeah. Heck yeah. He's a good singer too, and he's a great performer. I just don't prefer his style of musical theater. I don't like the music he chooses. I'm like, ugh.
Okay. That's fair.
That's fair.
That's so fair. Anyway, Snowden. Final thoughts on it. It's going to be probably super good, and you will be depressed and paranoid for weeks on end after seeing it.
But you might be uplifted by the fact that somebody was willing to put their neck out on the line.
Maybe.
I mean, think
about it.
about it.
Or you'll be depressed by the fact that
it.
the U.S. is still technically hunting him.
Okay, but think about it, okay? And spoiler alert for those who have not been following the story. This guy lives in Russia now.
I'm not going to do a spoiler alert for
real
something
life.
that has happened 3 years ago.
But no, think about it, though. This guy lives in Russia now.
Russia is terrible.
Yes, exactly. So he was willing to decide to live in Russia for the rest of his life, for indefinitely, knowing that he'll never get to come home to his home, which is the United States of America, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure he loved, at least based on this trailer.
See, they already got you. They got you.
But no, I mean, who doesn't love living here? I think that most people who live here love living here, even when they see flaws with it. So, I mean, it would suck if you had to leave your home country and never come home to it because you were trying to do something good for it. And I mean, I think that's for anyone, not just Americans. I think anyone, if they had to leave their home country and be banned forever, that would be a terrible feeling, especially when all you wanted to do was help people. So I'm just saying, maybe you'll feel uplifted that he was willing to go through all that for us.
Well, there you go. That was a very special, particularly serious episode of Movie Trailer Trash.
That's what happens sometimes. You never know what you're going to get.
I'm going to finish it up with some semi-serious plugs as well.
All right.
If you want to see more, all of our episodes are up on mttpodcast.com, which is our internet home. You can follow us on Twitter at MTT Podcast, where we put up all the episodes as soon as they are finished. You can... What else?
Maybe you should say you should. You should check out Entertainment Buffet on YouTube. They put up all of our episodes. They also have a lot of different sketch shows and podcasts. So just check out Entertainment Buffet. Also check them out on Facebook.
And also go to iTunes. Find us on iTunes. Rate, review, subscribe. Oh, so many things to do.
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, thank you for listening and hanging out with us every week. Keep in contact. Let us know if there's something you want us to talk about, trailer-wise. And we'll see you guys next time.
And always remember, the NSA is watching.